Welcome back to the Raptors RapUp podcast. I'm your host, Edwin Lingam, and man, what a game, what a game, what a game. The Raptors beat the Washington Wizards 125-107. The Wizards are pretty much the Raptors' best rival, I would say. The Raptors and the Wizards have a great history going to the playoffs and facing each other multiple times. The Raptors got their revenge last year by beating them 4-2 in the first round. Most people thought, the Raptors, a high seed, first seed, is going to sweep the 8th seed. But the Wizards always give the Raptors a tough time if you haven't been watching. And the Raptors won that series 4-2, but it wasn't easy. And tonight's game, the score may seem that it's lopsided, but honestly, it was more tougher than it looks. In that third quarter, the Wizards came back after being down double digits for most of the first half and took the lead. They took the lead, actually. The Wizards, who have been known to come back from large deficits, like that game against the Clippers when they were down 20 in the first quarter, but eventually came back, clawed their way back in the game, and won that game at home. But on the road, this was a pretty amazing feat for them to be down double digits for most of the game, and then they came back and took the lead. But Nick Nurse called a timeout, gathered his troops, and told them, you got to play with some intensity and you got to play defense and take care of the basketball. And the Raptors did that, grinded on defense led to offense, and the Raptors took over from there and just streamlined to the win right after that. There were some great things to talk about in this game and some terrible things to talk about in this game. First, let's talk about who came back in this game. OG came back and Miles came back, and now you have a full 10-man rotation. We're still missing Norman Powell, who would come in and out, but you have a 10-man rotation, so the starters don't have to play that many minutes, and it just seemed more flowing. The players were more used to each other. The bench was fantastic in this game. The bench mob was one of the big reasons the Raptors did great in this game, and it just started working. Everybody just had a connection. The chemistry was there, and it worked. The ball movement was superb. 30 plus assists for the Raptors tonight. And man, OG Anunoby off the bench was huge. Double-digit scoring. Miles had 9 points, but he was really struggling shooting the basketball. 1 of 7 from 3. Still can't hit that outside shot with consistency. But DeLon Wright and Van Vliet were just playing off each other excellently. Man, that's the bench that we've seen the past couple of years, and these two meshed perfectly tonight. Both of them double digits, both of them combined for 10 plus assists on the night. And then you have Serge Ibaka with adding his own 12 and 9 and 5 blocks, big blocks in this game. The one person I think that struggled tonight, other than CJ Miles, I would say is JV. Man, just not a good game. Was getting exposed by Bradley Beal in the mid-range. His pick and roll defense, I've been grinding on it for so long, but it's still not good enough. After the pick comes for the Washington player, Bradley Beal curls around the screen and JV falls back all the time. And then Bradley Beal just steps into a mid-range, and once, twice, maybe you can get away with it, but man, he was just killing him on that mid-range all game long. Bradley Beal, of course, dropped 20 points, I believe, in this game because he was just killing JV. That's why Serge Ibaka took over the minutes after a while, and it worked out perfectly fine. That's why it's good to have that little bit of a mix between the two guys, and Nurse manages their minutes perfectly. And it was a great game because Serge Ibaka closed it out, and he did a great job of doing that. Now, how can I talk about this game without mentioning the best player tonight was Kawhi Leonard. 27 and 10 on the night. Man, the guy looked like Kobe out there, just taking these guys to school one-on-one, whether it was on the block or just from the three-point line, was just dribbling that tight handle, could not be stripped, and then just kept hitting it. Whether he was fouled or not, he was still finishing through contact, was solid all game long. And he even guarded John Wall and Bradley Beal a few possessions to slow them down too. So you have that versatile two-way player who's really essential and a huge asset for this team. And then Lowry, Another scare today for Lowry. I saw him turn his ankle on Bradley Beal, and I thought, man, the ankle again. Hopefully it's not serious. But Lowry, the warrior that he is, came back the next play and just kept on fighting through. The pit bull is killing it to this year, and man, another solid game. Not a double-double, but just a solid, efficient game from Kyle Lowry. The Raptors did a great job shooting the basketball in this game. They were raining it from 3 in this game. I believe a season best 17 threes on the night. Shot above 40% from 3. When you're shooting like that, most likely it's going to be a blowout. And the Raptors killed it from the outside, especially in that first half. And Danny Green, Kyle Lowry, Kawhi Leonard, all of them helping out. OG, CJ hit a 3 here. Fred VanVleet, DeLon Wright. You had multiple 3-point scorers on the night. And when you have that full 10-man roster, you have more shooters, so you're bound to shoot better percentages. Our 3-point percentage is probably going to rise up a lot higher than it was right now that everybody's getting healthy. But overall, solid game. Now, the negatives of this game, so many to pick from. 1, turnovers. Again, the turnovers are killing the Raptors. Man, Raptors are on the bottom 10 in turnovers in the NBA. And just allow the Washington Wizards to stay within this game, but just giving the ball up against better teams, this is not going to be working. And the Wizards aren't a bad team at the moment. They're 6-11, but they won 5 of the last 9 games, so they're trying to pick up some momentum, and they made the Raptors pay. But honestly, 17 turnovers on the night, not good. The defensive rebounding was atrocious, and man, you gotta learn how to box out. The guys just running around the rim. At one point they had a layup by the Washington Wizards that they missed, and then they have 2 Washington Wizards players fighting for the offensive rebound. Luckily, DeLon Wright blocked Markieff Morris from behind, but it's just not good enough. You need to box these guys out. Find the guy and just box them out, get the defensive rebound, and then move on. You can't give them extra possessions. The Raptors probably gave these guys, I believe, 10 more shots in the game. And that's not good enough. 10 more shots could be 20 points, 30 points. And that could have definitely swung this game the other way. The Raptors got to get control of their rebounds and stop turning the ball over. Otherwise, solid game by the Raptors. Great timeouts by Nick Nurse. He really stopped the momentum of the Wizards and then pushed the Raptors to play with some intensity and just play some defense. In that third quarter, that Nick Nurse timeout really fueled this team's energy, and the Raptors took it home from there. Otherwise, a solid game. I haven't spoke about John Wall in this game because, man, even though John Wall had a double-double and assists, his impact is barely noticeable without a pick-and-roll guy like Dwight Howard, who sat out again with the injury, and then no Gortat, who is a Raptor killer usually. And against JV, his eyes just wide open because he absolutely destroys JV on the pick and rolls. But without a pick and roll guy, you really see that John Wall's effectiveness is really neutralized. And he did not shoot the ball well, especially from the outside. The Raptors were just giving him that, and he's not a good 3-point shooter. It looks like John Wall really didn't improve his game at all this offseason, and it's kind of ugly to see. Great for the Raptors, but just as a basketball fan, you would like to see players get better, of course. Otherwise, another solid game by the Raptors. Next up, we got the Miami Heat, another tough team. I believe Miami is going to beat the Chicago Bulls tonight, but the Raptors keep on trucking along. It's a mini homestand the Raptors have, so Raptors got to defend home court and keep it rolling. Until next time, peace. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe to the Raptors Wrap Up. Smash that like button, guys. Until next time. Deuces.